Hey, back again. Keep going here. Sharing the way at Candy Store with you. This is called A Letter from Matty Ill. It's amazing to get this letter. So, it's unbelievable. So, here it is. A letter from Matty Ill. A friend of mine was sent away for a number of years. I hadn't heard from him, but then I got this letter. And the title was The Reach of Creative Imagination. I couldn't believe it. From Matty Ill, I just couldn't believe it. And it read like this. There is an organ of remembrance which functions in a way different from the verifications of our positive science. The facts, so to speak, thereby give it a one-sided understanding of the physical event. This organ of remembrance makes these events reach us in its spiritual identity. These hallowed places where events take place in the soul and not in the things. It is the event in the soul that situates, qualifies, and sacralizes the space in which it is imagined. This is Matty Ill, can you imagine that? From this religious imagination, the projection of the soul, a mytho-history can be shaped. The vision of the soul manifesting the events of the earth, engendering a human being still pre-terrestrial, hard to say, from Brooklyn, typifying the supernatural generation of the Savior. What does that mean, I thought? And Matty wrote, the final coming not of an individual incarnation, but in the name and work of whomever truly participates through their own struggle. And we all know what that struggle is. It's just day to day, washing the dishes and illness and everything else, money. Meaning, and I get my drift from Matty Ill, that we are collective saviors. This is what he wrote. And the final coming is within us all. And then there was a P.S. Gus, I broke my plastic spoon and had to stop work on the tunnel. Please send me a pack of butts, you freaking mysteries. And that's Matty Ill. Footnote. About 6 months or so after receiving this letter, I heard through the grapevine Matty Ill had died in prison. He was killed in his escape tunnel when lighting a cigarette and igniting a small explosion, burying himself alive. And he left a note behind, and it read, I go to meet my image, and my image comes to greet me, embrace me, and holds me close when I come out of captivity. Amazing. And note, every individual rises again in the very form which his work has fixed in the secret esoteric depth of himself. Matty Ill is amazing. And here's you might be able to see that. There's a picture of Matty Ill. I know he was in prison and stuff like that, but we're all great souls deep down. And that was just, just more of the candy store, sharing the candy store. The organ of remembrance. The reach of creative imagination. Imagine that. Yes, the way to candy store again. And I remember when I was a kid, they used to have like sanitation sweepers, and they used to come by, had a broom, and then they had like this huge pail, and then on wheels, and they would clean the curbs, and actually the streets were cleaner then than they are now, for sure. And one day I had a conversation with this. He was really a great guy. And so this is Max, the sanitation sweeper. And, Max had been sweeping the neighborhood streets for over 30 years, He never spoke except when we asked him, hey, Max, what time is it? And he would answer, Max, no difference to you. Max, no difference to you. And one summer day I asked Max, what time is it? But instead of his usual answer, an aura seemed to come over him, and it actually changed his face. It gave off a light of wisdom, began to speak out, and, he started to talk to me and led Pipe Louie, who was with me at the time. And although we were bad listeners, for some reason, at this moment, our ears absorbed every word that Max was saying. You need time in which to learn. But this is not true if you're connected. What seems like a waste of time is when you connect with your false self. And Max went on. This false self uses time to support a belief in destruction. Death as an end. But the heart supports life, which has no end. And time, my boys, is inconceivable without change. But your true heart never changes. Change is an illusion. Change is an illusion. There was no change in the Father of Hearts. I learned this from the broom. It speaks to me as I sweep the cement streets. It tells me all there is this stroke, and all there is in each stroke. Suddenly a breeze came up and Max's face changed again. His eyes became detached in their gaze, and his whole persona seemed to change back. He seemed to become an extension of the broom. He continued his sweeping and disappeared around the corner. Hey Max! Hey Max! Yelled Lead Pipe Louie. What time is it? What time is it? Max, no difference to you, was his answer. As he walked away, I could still hear Lead Pipe Louie saying, this guy's a basket case, a freaking basket case. I wonder at that now. This is the way of the candy store, and Max, the sanitation sweeper. Hey, welcome back to the candy store again. I wanted to show you a little picture of Goomba Guru in 1934. There he is, 1934. You'll hear some of his wisdom down the line a little bit. Goomba Guru, 1934. Yeah, so I'm going to continue here. This is about Lead Pipe Louie. You know, Lead Pipe Louie. He was a ladies' man, you know, for obvious reasons. So I'm going to give you some of those reasons. Here we go. Lead Pipe Louie was a ladies' man for obvious reasons. He had a way about him, an aura of confidence to go along with his lead pipe. One day I asked him, hey Louie, how do you make all these women love you so much? I mean, what's the secret? His answer startled me at the time. He said, it's all about creating and stopping vibes. The person must realize the energy created belongs to a higher vibe, a higher force which exists in all of us, men and women alike. And it's your will that sets it in motion. It doesn't create it. And it will fulfill itself so far as the play of the other vibes will allow it. You need to know this and watch it work. It's like a kicker card, man. If you want to stop the vibe, to force the energy, you have to set a contrary one in motion, which has to be strong enough to last against its momentum. You got it, Gus? Got it. I don't even know what you're talking about. But go on. If that don't work, Gus. If that doesn't work, Gus, let me tell you. It doesn't hurt to have a lead pipe. And here's a picture of Lead Pipe Louie. This was like his second incarnation, circa 1754, the Dead Fish Scrolls. There he is. At that time, he was a poet. Well on his way to being a ladies' man, I guess. But, you know, he said a lot there about vibes, kick a card. And that was from The Way of the Candy Store, the Dead Fish Scrolls, actually. I got that. From the, I translated from the Brooklyn hieroglyphics, the Brooklynese hieroglyphics, and that was Lead Pipe Louie.